Hey guys, Bree here from Mission Crochet. I want to share with you my top 3 things that I got to crochet from my grandma before she passed away. Today marks exactly 1 year since she passed away, and it's amazing how her knitting inspired me to become a crocheter. So I want to honor her and give you a little bit of backstory and then show you the 3 things that I got to crochet for her. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, like quick side note before we get into the video, I just wanted to say that Aldi's has a crochet kit for $4.99. Now, I have not even opened this. I just picked it up yesterday, so I'm not like real sure if it's, if it's going to be good, bad, but I mean, the idea that it has this little QR code to teach you how to crochet makes me think it's going to be super user-friendly. And maybe even a beginner could learn to crochet. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that aside and let's get right back into the regular video. So my grandma, she passed away a year ago today. She lost her battle with cancer. And it's one of those things where, yes, I miss her, but she's out of pain. I mean, she was suffering horribly at the end. And so I know, I have peace of mind that, she's out of pain. So, I mean, yes, I'm sad about it, of course, but I'm so glad that she has relief. And today I just want to honor her a little bit by talking about how she inspired me to get into crochet, and I'll show you like the 3 things that I got to make for her. Now, my grandma was an amazing knitter. Like, it always seemed like she always had something on her needles. And I mean, I saw her make anything from like baby clothes to blankets to like washcloths. I mean, she made so many like really pretty things. And as a kid, I thought that was so cool. The idea that you could take 2 sticks and some string and make something amazing is awesome to me. And so I wanted to learn how to knit. Unfortunately though, I was unteachable. My grandma had taught many people before me and had been very successful. But for some reason, like for me, knitting, I don't know if maybe I was too young, maybe it's just, maybe just not my thing. I don't know, it just never made sense to me. I never got very far into it, and like I really wanted to. Also, when you're a kid too, like because knitting has a tendency to go a lot slower than crochet, like maybe that was part of it. But anywho, as I became an adult, like I wanted to learn how to crochet, and I asked her, if she could teach me or if she knew anything about crochet. And she had tried for, I guess, a very long time to teach herself to crochet, but she could never quite figure it out. She even blessed me with a How to Crochet for Dummies book that she had picked up where she tried to learn from. And I couldn't get the hang of it from the book, but I was able to learn through like YouTube and a lot of trial and error and a lot of different like YouTubers and creators until I found somebody I could really connect with, which if you, watched my videos before, that was Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And I really, credit him with being able to teach me. Now, I've gone on, over the years to like build up my skills, and I'm super proud of that and stuff. And I got this book a long time ago, like not too long after learning how to crochet, I bought this book, and it was like all different kinds of like games, like billiards, and like there was a slot machine in it. My grandma loved the casino, and I always wanted to make that for her. And so like I knew I couldn't do it when I first learned, but I held on to this book for a very long time. And then after I met my husband, and like he was so loving and encouraging about my crochet and really like encouraged me to keep pushing on and learning more and stuff, I had the confidence to do it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to insert a picture right here of that blanket after I got it complete. I was very proud of this. It was like the first time I'd ever made a blanket like this. And like to me, I was so excited about it. And like I was hoping, my grandma would she would enjoy it and appreciate it. And I knew she would appreciate it, but I was hoping she would enjoy it and like be blown away by it. And I have a very like sweet video of like her opening it, and if I can, I'm gonna insert that right here.
Oh my goodness, this is what I need for a nice Nice. Oh, nice.
So turn around and tell her thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love you. How cute.
Thought you'd like that.
That's beautiful.
As you can see, she was even more blown away than like I was hoping she would be. Like, I was so proud of this because it was like I worked so hard on it, and I had that book for years, and I specifically bought that book so I could make that blanket for her, and that's like, it was such a big deal to me, and I was really hoping she'd love it, and I was just so happy to think that she loved it so much. Project number 2 that I want to share with you is the Purple Mountains Majesty blanket. I am super proud of this. It's probably the project, out of all the things I've ever made, probably the thing I had the hardest time finishing. And, you know, like, I mean, it's simply a bunch of granny squares put together to form this beautiful picture. The problem is I didn't really think about the sewing and how much I hate sewing. And after I got all the squares done, like, I felt so accomplished and so proud. But then I had to sew them together, and it felt like torture, like having to sew all those together, because I just hate the sewing part. I just hate the sewing. I hate the weaving it of ends. And I'm telling you, I thought I would never finish it. Like, if it hadn't been for wanting to make this for my grandma and the special reason I wanted to make it for her, like, the special reason I wanted to make it for her was because one of her, like, bucket list things she wanted to do was to go to Dollywood, and she wanted to see the mountains. And so I thought this blanket would be like a cool way to kind of remind her of that trip and how she got to tick that off her bucket list. And so, like, this blanket was very important to me. Like, the first one, of course, was important because, you know, it was like the first thing I had accomplished like that. But this one was even more important. And if it hadn't been, you know, if it had been something I was making for myself, I probably would still be sitting in a closet today. But since this was for my grandma, and at the time, I mean, she was in the middle of battling cancer, and I wanted this to be something that would be done before, you know, before she would pass. It was something I wanted her to be able to have and enjoy. Like, if it hadn't been for all that, I don't think I would have finished this one, honestly. I would have, like, repurposed the granny squares. Heck, I might even thrown them out. The sewing was just terrible for me. But I am so proud of accomplishing this one and making it. For my number 3 thing, this was more of a functional thing. My grandma was struggling at the time because she had lost her hair to have something, you know, to cover her head with. Now, she had been gifted a wig, she had been gifted like a very nice, like, headscarf and stuff, and like turbans and all these other things, but, you know, she said that none of them were quite what she wanted. You know, the wig was kind of hot, itchy. The headscarf was, you know, it was a lot to, you know, put it on, and it was just kind of, you know, it drew a lot of attention. And so I went ahead and I made her, I forget how many hats exactly I made her. I think there was a variety of 3 different colors, and I made these for her because they were something, you know, they were kind of neutral. You know, they weren't so like, look at me, you know, I've lost my hair. They were, you know, something that I did a lot of research to try to figure out what was going to be the best yarn, because I didn't want to do something that could be hot or itchy. You know, I wanted to be something comfortable, you know, so that if she wanted to wear it in public or just around the house, or she wanted to wear it 24/7, you know, whatever, you know, amount of time she wanted to wear it, that it would be comfortable. So these were something I found online. It was very simple to make, and they were kind of meshy a little bit, so they didn't hold the heat in. The yarn I found was like a bamboo, so it was really soft and had a little bit of stretch to it. And this was like the 3rd thing I got to make for her. So I just kind of today, I wanted to honor her and, you know, kind of reflect on some of the things that I got to make for her, and, you know, just think about some of those, you know, memories and think about some of the memories that I have, you know, from childhood, and, you know, how her knitting journey became my crochet journey, and, you know, kind of helped me become the person I am today. So that's all for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take care.